Hello everyone and welcome. Today I want to thank you guys for getting me up to the 50 subscriber mark. I'm really surprised by this, just how much the channel has grown in general over the past month or so. It's not something I was really expecting, so I'm surprised to see it, and I really appreciate everything between any subscriptions, any comments, and even just liking the video. Any of that you do helps out. It's not something I like to bother people about doing, but if you do it, it does help the channel. So as a way of saying thank you to you guys, I put together a list of all of my tactic builds that I've used so far on the channel. Because I figured it's a bit hard for people to follow what I've been doing in every single build, since I use a lot of different builds, and a lot of them are very specific to these 4-slot types of builds, where every tactic that I take into the run is made specifically to interact with each other. I did do a bit of both here, though. Like I mentioned that the top tier DPS ones are cold, for example. You can take those without having to run them in a full build, and same thing with Chain Lightning or Lightning Impulses. I tried to add a little bit of things you can take as just standalone things too, not just the 4 tactic builds. The other thing that I've done for you guys to make it much easier to try out my builds is that I included a save file that you can download. It's very easy to put in your game. There's a button on the menu where you select your save file that will open up your folder, and then you can just put my file there. My file will go into the 10th slot, so if you have any save data in that 10th slot, you need to copy it somewhere else first. Otherwise, you're gonna overwrite your data. And just make sure you make a copy of all of your saves as well before you go messing around with any of your save data. Just in case something goes wrong along the way, you don't want to lose your save files permanently. But nothing should really go wrong as long as you don't already have something on the 10th slot here. So that should be pretty simple for you guys to be able to follow with my builds now. It's up to you though whether you want to use my save file or just use the list of suggestions to make some of your own on your save file. There are some pretty big issues with my save file. The main one being that I have way too many things on Jin. So it's hard to combine a lot of different things together. Like if I pick up Jin here, it removes about half my board, which is a very big mistake that I made when I started playing the game. I started with Jin as my main character, and then after that I always had him as a legacy character as well, since I already had so many of him built up, and it's just I kind of have to put Jin into every one of my builds now, because I've just learned the game with having his passive all the time, the slow time. It just really, really messes up my muscle memory when I'm trying to play without it. So that's also, like, if you're a Jin player, it's hard to use a lot of the builds on him because of how much stuff is actually on him. And then it's kind of the same to a lesser degree with Lambda. A lot of my build slots here are taken up by Lambda as well. I guess it's a good thing if you don't play either of those characters, because you'll basically never have your slots taken up that you need. So the save file definitely isn't anything that's highly efficient in terms of character variety and in terms of using up the amount of space efficiently, since a lot of these things are just made for one single build that uses 4 tactics altogether. But anyways, you can definitely still use your own save files, and then use these ones on the side if you just want to try out one of my builds, or want to try out a couple of them and see how they feel, or if you don't have time to put all these together. It'll just be something that's pretty helpful to other people. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.